guys, you're watching Cutie Crafts. Today I wanted to talk to you about my first experience with 3D printing. Since I've been working at a library, I've been learning a lot about the different resources and services that libraries offer, and one of them is 3D printers. I think that's really cool because growing up, none of that really existed in the library, having 3D printers and creative spaces where you can learn different skills. And if you live in the Toronto or Greater Toronto area, a lot of the libraries now have these creative spaces that are really affordable and give you access to different technologies. So I just wanted to share with you guys some of the cool things that I was able to 3D print and maybe introduce 3D printing to any of you who've never tried it before. The first thing that we need to start with 3D printing is an STL file for the object that we want to print. This is a file format that is specifically for 3D objects, and it's one of the most common file formats that 3D printers will read. I found this really amazing SD card toaster design by DeHapro, and it's from Cults 3D. There are lots of websites that share free STL files and lots of cool designs that people made. Another one is Ultimaker's Thingiverse. So I downloaded this toaster, put it on my USB, and brought it over to the library. Before I can actually print this design, I need to prepare it in a software called a slicer. So this library used the Ultimaker Cura slicer, and what this does is that it prepares your design and makes it into lots and lots of layers. So it slices it, and then it creates these G codes for the printer to understand and follow the instructions so that it knows exactly where to place the nozzle, when to push out the filament, when each layer is done, and it can move on to the next layer. So it tells the printer everything it needs to know to precisely print your object. I also learned that 3D printing is what's called an additive manufacturing process. So what this means is that instead of having a material and then chipping away at it until you have the desired shape that you want, the printer is creating the object by adding material in these super fine layers and in a very precise position and order. After slicing, I transferred the sliced files onto an SD card, plugged it into the Dremel printer, and then the library staff helped me with picking out a filament and then setting it up in the printer. I picked the yellow. 2 hours of printing later, I got my SD card holding toaster. I really loved how this toaster turned out. It's so cute and really useful for helping me hold my SD cards. So I booked another time to return to the library, and this time I booked the Ultimaker 3 3D printer. The process was pretty much the same. I sliced the STL file and then saved it to my USB, plugged it into the Ultimaker, and then clicked print. Except something went wrong with this printer. I think maybe the filament got stuck in the nozzle, and instead of printing out a nice beautiful toaster, it displaced the toaster and then started printing these spirals all in random places. It was a huge fail, but it's okay because the library actually had a filament recycling program, so I just tossed this failed piece into the recycling bin so that maybe it can be reused again. I don't know how they're gonna recycle it. I was sad after that one failed, so I decided I'll come back a third time, and this time I booked 2 printers, the Dremel and then the Ultimaker, so that I could have some comparisons of which one might be a little nicer. I wanted to print a red one on the Ultimaker because it failed last time, and then I printed a green one on the Dremel. Now, I was told that one of these printers was around $7,000, and then another one was closer to $1,000. So I really wanted to see how big of a difference there is, since there is a huge price difference. Both of the prints started around the same time, except the Ultimaker's layer height was set at 0.15 millimeters, a bit less thick compared to the Dremel, which was set at 0.2 millimeters. Layer height is pretty much just how thick each layer is going to be, so if it's smaller, then I expect it to be more precise and looking a bit cleaner. But I just went with the default settings that the library had because I am still not really familiar with how to change the settings and how to maybe improve the prints by playing around with the settings. And since I am not too familiar with the infill setting, which is how you fill the space inside of your object, I just went with the default 20%. So that means there's still going to be quite a bit of space inside of the toaster. After 2 hours of printing, I finally got my red and green toasters. You can tell that the Ultimaker one was definitely more precise and cleaner because of the lower layer height, or maybe because the printer is $7,000. I would expect it to have a much nicer print, but the Dremel wasn't too different. Like, I can definitely tell there were some imperfections. It wasn't as clean with the thicker layer height. I was so shocked that the library staff told me, oh, that one's $7,000 and that one is $1,000, when they're not that much different. But the Ultimaker, it can hold 2 colors, so I don't know how that works in 3D printing, how you can have 2 colors, maybe at the same time or at different times, I'm not sure, but I think maybe that's one of the reasons why it's way more expensive. But with just this little toaster design, the Dremel did a great job already. Just for my SD card toaster, I think it's good enough for holding them. I also wanted to try printing something that I made myself. It's like a keychain magnet holder that was inspired by Valorant, and I printed this on the Ultimaker again, but again, it failed halfway through. Like, I was printing this cylindrical shape, it was fine, and then suddenly something clogged, and then I just had to print the rest of it and then maybe just glue the 2 pieces together. It was really weird. The Ultimaker had a lot of fails, but the Dremel was okay. Maybe it was just the one the library had, maybe it was too old or something, I don't know. But Tinkercad, that is another software that you should know about, because that is a 3D design software where you can create any 3D objects you like. They have pre-made shapes and designs that you can play around with, and then save it as an STL file that you can then print with a 3D printer. So that was my first experience using 3D printers. I love how my little toasters turned out. They are housing a bunch of my SD cards very nicely. They're popping out like toast here. Of course, I am still very new to 3D printing. There's a lot I haven't tried with it, and lots to learn with the program and also with designing on Tinkercad. I always love to learn new ways to create things, and I hope you enjoyed watching me try something new. Also, shout out again to libraries for providing these kind of resources for regular folks like me to try and to explore the world of 3D printing. If your library has a 3D printer, or if you've learned 3D printing before in school, let me know in the comments below what kind of stuff you've printed before, because I'd love to think of new ideas to try at my library's 3D printing station. Anyway, thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you guys next time with another kitty craft. Bye!